Ever heard of a killer? I drop bombs like Hiroshima.
Somebody said, look at LeakYou video. What the fuck is LeakYou? Is it like a site? What's LeakYou? LeakYou. Is it a YouTube channel? Oh, shit. Oh, no. All right, bet. Here we go.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
One, two, three, four.
And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I hope you all have had a really nice Wednesday, or day, night, evening, whatever. I am coming through to do another live stream today to talk about what many of you all may have seen on the news. Fox News last night. It also made its way into several social media clips. Now, the video you're seeing right there is a UFO incident that happened back in, I think it was 2011, when a UFO hovered over Jerusalem, over the Dome of the Rock, and was captured by 4 angles, 4 different videos, 4 different cameras that captured that, amazing incident in Israel and Jerusalem over the Dome of the Rock, the most sacred place in the world when it comes to religion, probably all 3 religions, actually, the 3 main religions. When I'm speaking of that, I'm talking about Christianity, Muslim, and Jewish religions. Again, the Dome of the Rock holds a lot of history. And I think the only thing even close would be the Vatican. But this is the video that has made the rounds. And man, I don't see enough people talking about it. Bigger bloggers or bigger organizations or whatnot. A lot of independent folks like myself and a lot of other independent, social media hounds, so to speak, have posted this clip. And this is a clip that, again, this happened last night. I was actually watching live when this happened. And that was not the only UFO that popped up last night in Israel after Iran rained down over 200 missiles. The entire region appears to be on the brink of just catastrophic ends. Again, if you all are into politics, geopolitics, et cetera, a very huge escalation happened overnight in Israel when Iran launched, again, over 200 ballistic missiles, destroyed several sites in Israel, including military sites, airports, etc. These missiles were launched from Iran into Israel, right over. You could see them as they left Iran, and rained down. It was pretty dramatic video footage. The Israel Defense Force has actually told everyone in Israel, to hunker down. Israel has also gone to war and has put on a ground offensive into Lebanon. Now, these are the latest, starkest escalations in tensions in that region, and it has the United States and others pretty worried that Israel's military operations in Lebanon, Syria, and the Gaza Strip over the last several months could plunge the region into a much wider war, including dragging the West into this Middle Eastern conflict. I did see there was even a plane of a load of Army recruits that touched down in Israel. But these strikes by Iran comes one day after Israel launched that military operation into Lebanon against Iran-backed Hezbollah. Again, it follows a series of Israeli strikes against Hezbollah and Hamas, and including assassinations of top commanders, pagers blowing up in people's faces, walkie-talkies blowing up almost simultaneously. Now, on Friday, Israel conducted an airstrike in Beirut, that's Lebanon's capital, and that killed Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah. Back in August, Israeli intelligence killed the leader of Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh, while the group's leader was in Tehran for the inauguration of the country's new president, Masoud Pezeshkian, if I could say that right. Now, there was a post on X, on Twitter. Iran's mission to the United States in New York wrote that, quote, Iran's legal, rational, and legitimate response to the terrorist acts of the Zionist regime, which involved targeting Iranian nationals and interests and infringing upon the national sovereignty of the Islamic Republic of Iran, has been duly carried out, end quote. Now, according to National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan at a Tuesday White House briefing after these attacks, he said that it was not clear if there had been any success in regards to targets, and there was no immediate reports of Israeli casualties. I did hear that due to the ground offensive in Lebanon, 8 Israeli soldiers were killed in battle, killed in action in battle. But to all of my, peeps, so to speak, that are completely enthralled in everything UFO, UAP, shout out to those of you on UFO Twitter. There's a lot of you in here. I set the live up and you guys were already coming in. I see you all. It's too bad. StreamYard. Hold on a sec, y'all. All right, sorry about that. Biscuit, my doggy wanted to make sure that he feels a little upset about something. So, but anyway. So, to those of my peeps that are just as enthralled into everything UFO, UAP, et cetera, who have done a lot of research in the area for many years, such as I have, it is known pretty widely that there tends to be an increase in UFO activity in areas where war is happening. I don't know how many of you all ever seen some of the live streams that were coming out of Ukraine. But a while back, there was actually an influx of news regarding the appearance of multiple UFO craft, different craft of different sizes, shapes, etc., that were literally hovering over areas around the front line in Ukraine, where Russia and Ukraine have been at battle. Pretty much 24 hours a day, there would be different UFO craft. And this was actually cited and recorded on video. There's actually a study. I think the study is actually still ongoing. There was a man who was reporting the number of craft that would be seen as he would be filming and recording. But we've also heard of stories of UFO craft popping up over Vietnam, when the Vietnam War was happening, World War II, Foo Fighters, right? Every war, going back as far as I can remember before I was born, there has been reports that not only, UFO craft, but other intelligence of a non-human nature that seems to pop up, whether I've heard reptilians, especially in Vietnam, and other, beings, so to speak, whether they're grays, Nordics, tall, whites, whatever. Some have referred to this clip, however, as, a demon coming down over Israel. Again, this happened as those missiles were raining down, and this was not the only UFO craft that was actually seen during the missile barrage that was happening last night. There's clearly, and it almost looks like a shadow being of some type. There's a lot of videos even that I've seen in South America where there's a shadow being, and they tend to be on the ground. They tend to be very close to the ground, if that makes any sense. They seem 2D in nature, not really 3D when you look at them. But we see this coming down in the sky. And if you actually pay attention, just before whatever this is comes down, let me see if I can get it at the exact spot. There is a light here. Let me see if I can get it. There we go. You see that right there? If you look where my mouse is. Let me go back just a little bit here, and I'll zoom in on it for you. Let me get it at the right. Yeah, there we go. If you look here, just before that black, whatever that is, comes flying down to the ground. Again, this is after missiles touched down. You can actually see something there in the sky. Now, here's another interesting turn of events also. There appears to potentially be another craft. This was in a different location while those missiles were coming down, potentially shooting or destroying those missiles before they touched the ground. Now, that's what some people have seen in some of this footage, and I will show you the piece of footage that I'm talking about. But it does seem kind of odd, I will say. There seems to be like a set of lights sitting there in the sky shooting at some of these missiles. Now, some say this is the dome, or I'm sorry, the Iron Dome over Israel, but right there where my mouse is, just look really close at what's happening in this video here. Look at that. And then it proceeds to go into a straight pyramid shape. Now, again, this was also recorded last night as those missiles were coming down over Israel. I don't believe that is the Iron Dome, folks. Yeah. That does not appear to me, anyway, to be any part of the Iron Dome. Shout out to those of you in the chat. What's up with you? Now, I can't see Twitterers in the chat, unfortunately, with StreamYard. I can't see any comments y'all could make or potentially make it. I think Twitter made a change when we moved over from the former platform over to the newer Twitter broadcast platform. And I can't even see comments like I used to be able to see. You also have to pay. You have to be a premium user of Twitter in order to stream now. So there's that. But unless that changes, or if I find out anything different, blase, but I can't see any comments from Twitter users. But shout out to those of you on Twitch and Facebook. I see you all, and YouTube. I guess you could call it Project Bluebeam, Earl, but no, not really. Project, that is a long time ago. But yes, so again, I was sitting here watching these strikes volley down or rain down, this barrage come down over Israel, last night. And I was pretty amazed. There's also a third clip, if you give me a moment, that I want to show you all. And I picked up 3 different UFO craft in it. Again, this was also recorded last night, but give me a second here. Let's see if I can find it. I'm going to share this one tab out. Look at this. Just another example of strange craft over the skies of places where there is, heightened activity, war-related activity. Pretty much, I'm of the opinion that if you actually look at these events that are happening, I think we're always going to see UFO craft in the air. I believe our fighting the wars that we have with each other absolutely affects any other living community of beings on this planet, whether they're of inner Earth, they sit in the atmosphere, then in another dimension, whatever, you want to call it. Our warring and our fighting and our dropping atomic weapons and nuclear weapons affects them. So I think that will always be a concern. That's why we will always see these craft over areas where fighting is taking place. These videos that we've looked at are from last night. Again, I was watching several news clips, and the one in particular, this happened live. This was on Fox News. And let me just mute this out. Doesn't get any realer than that. That doesn't look to be any sort of debris. It almost looks like it's flapping. It almost looks like a shadow of something that's flapping some wings, but the wings do not look very discernible at all. But doesn't it kind of look like there's something flapping, or it's flapping its arms or whatever as it's coming down? It really, really does, Bradley. They're definitely monitoring our weapons usage and how we're using those weapons. And these beings, again, regardless of wherever they're coming from, whether it's a different dimension, it's a different, they're inner earth, as some have said, they coming from under the poles, all of those really awesome conspiracy theories / whatever you want to call it, our wars affect them. But man, shout out to those of you social media hounds like myself who have put some emphasis on this, and hopefully this will get the ear and eye of some bigger folks. There's definitely something to be said about all of these UFO sightings that have happened over Israel and other places in the last few years where wars has broke out. Maybe one day we'll see, a news story or a news clip on the increase in UFOs over Ukraine and Israel. Who knows? But that is so odd. And then it looks like it just disappears. Our eyes can't even begin to understand sometimes some of the things that we look at, But it is an incredible piece of footage. And again, this comes from Fox News. They were tapped into that feed as that live feed was happening. Now, it's not hard to discern a UFO from a missile. And, I don't think so. Because there's nothing about these missiles that would have some shadowy, black, flapping type, whatever you want to call that, coming down like that and then just disappear. And that second clip we looked at, which you can actually see, is right here. If you look closely, that same clip we were looking at earlier, this is just a broader view of it. Where it really, this right here, where it really appears there's some sort of a triangular craft. And even you can see above it, another UFO shows itself. But right here where my mouse is, this is the area in that second clip that we were looking at. Is there a UFO there destroying these missiles as they were making their way into Israel, or destroyed some of these missiles? because that is stationary. These missiles are moving. That is completely stationary. And look, it shows back up. And then right here, a craft just appears. It's like these things just phase in to our reality just like that at a snap of a finger, and then can completely disappear and phase out of our reality. But it just literally appears. I suspect right here as well, there could be something right there. That orb, or whatever you want to call it, is completely stationary. And pay attention to how all of the other missiles are falling. Now, the Iron Dome is over Israel. There's not going to be something just hovering there like that, though. Look at that. I would love to hear, other people's perspectives on this. And you can actually see as the missiles leave and they come up and then over. It's not that far. Israel is not a big country. It is not a big country at all. There's even some cities in Israel that could be at the Gaza Strip in 1 mile. A simple walk. It's close. It's that close. There are Israeli cities that are extremely close, not only to Gaza, but Lebanon. I mean, it's surrounded. Israel is surrounded by countries that want to annihilate. Period. This is an escalation of, right now, I think, inconceivable repercussions, potentially. Now, Israel has said that they are going to strike back. I've even heard talk of nuclear weapons, and I think that's very scary because Putin, he's real quick to throw out that term, right? When he feels like his back is up against the wall. I don't think anyone needs to be dropping any nuclear weapons. And for Israel to ever drop a nuclear weapon, I would think they would be talking to the U.S. before doing that. But again, who are we? We're so busy in every other country's business. We're barely taking care of what's happening here at home. And that's been a problem that the Arab world has had with the United States for years. It's the fact that we're going in, dominating these other countries, and then we leave. But some very compelling footage that happened. So yeah, pay it. And even when you're watching like war clips, whether even if they're older war clips, because listen, there were actual objects doing crazy things even back in World War II. If you ever find yourself watching some of those clips, pay really close attention to the skies, because there are clips from that time period that show these, UFOs, UAPs, also known as Foo Fighters, back in the days of World War II. And these objects had the Air Force really confused for a while. Where are these strange orbs, these objects coming from? They're making turns, and doing maneuvers that aren't even possible in the aircraft that's available at the time period. Even now in 2024, our most advanced aircraft don't even come close to the maneuverability that these objects seem to have. Now, last night I was also thinking, as I was, sifting through space-related news. And I started thinking about when NASA retired all of the space shuttles. And you know why I think we retired those space shuttles so quickly? Because we didn't need them anymore. I think that the United States has managed to reverse engineer some of these craft, can take them into space, fly these craft. They didn't need those hunky, expensive space shuttles anymore. Just to launch a shuttle mission with the lives of 5, 6, 7 people on the shuttles, was millions of dollars. The resources required to fuel a space shuttle mission, millions of dollars, not to mention the very careful consideration that has to be made against these shuttle before they go in space. They have to go through a mechanical check like nothing you've ever seen. I feel like, NASA didn't need them anymore. We had other means to accomplish some of our space-related goals. And thus, the shuttles got shuttered. The shuttle program got shuttered. So something to think about. But anyway, you all, before I get up out of here, allow me to pay a few bills if you don't mind. Shout out to the LeakYou community. Please join us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
All right, before we get up out of here, I want to show you this particular clip. This is the one I was looking for a minute ago. This is also another piece of video that was taken last night while those missiles were raining down. Just look. If you look really close, look at that. There are UFOs showing up all over the place in this clip. Let me turn that down. Sorry. Look, right there, for example. I mean, they're there. So study that when you get an opportunity, and hopefully I'll hear some of you more, some more of you talking about it. Look at that. Right there, blatantly in our face. But it's so easy for anyone to dismiss it and say, well, those are just missiles flying around. So that's the other part of this. But listen, I appreciate each and every one of you for coming through. I will catch you on the next broadcast, everyone. Until next time.
The judgment sentence that you are an asshole. The trial is over. Thank you, everybody.
Let's play a game. You have 10 seconds to take all your stuff and get out of my life. 10, 9, 8.
God bless you, motherfucker.
You're really smart, like really, really, really smart like I am.
The judgment sentence that you are an asshole. The trial is over. Thank you, everybody.
Let's play a game. You have 10 seconds to take all your stuff and get out of my life. 10, 9, 8.
God bless you, motherfucker.
You're really smart, like really, really, really smart like I am.